Okay, NFL schedule release just happened. Figured I'd go over the schedule a little bit. I even wrote it down. Um, just an overall, I'm not real happy about the schedules from the Vikings perspective. I think we'll talk about it a little bit, but it's not very favorable in a couple of spots, especially early and late specifically. But let's go week by week. Uh, Starting out hosting Green Bay, which will be weird because there's almost no chance there's going to be any fans in the stands for that. So we'll be hosting Green Bay in front of nobody, although that's going to be the thing for the whole year. Then week 2 at the Colts in Phillip Rivers. Week 3 back home, play the Titans. Week 4 go to Houston, play the Texans. And then week 5 at Seattle on a Sunday Night Football. So just that first 5, that's tough. That's a pretty tough start to a season, especially when you've got a defense that's going to have a lot of young guys out there and being retooled and everything. So I would say if you come out of that 3-2, even you're golden. So then after that you come back week 6 at home against the Falcons, which should be a little bit of a breather. Then you get the bye. I don't like the bye in week 7. That's a little early for my taste, but at least it's not super early. Then you come out the bye week 8 at Green Bay. It shouldn't be real cold yet, so that's at least a positive. Week 9 come home and play the I was going to say the Tigers, the Lions. Then week 10 on Monday Night Football for some reason. I don't know why they do this to us. The Bears in Soldier Field. You know how that goes. That's the annual game every year where the whole team plays like they've never played football before. It doesn't matter how good the Vikings are. It doesn't matter how good the Bears are. It's just the way it is. So, and we get to experience it on a national TV scale. Then the nicest part of the schedule is week 11, 12, 13, home to Dallas, home to Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers, home to Jacksonville. That's a pretty nice little 3-week thing where the Vikings are good. They should be able to go 3-0 in that little home stand. I don't know when the last time would have been where they had 3 straight home games, but I know it's been probably a long time. And then you get 3 home games, but then the last 4 weeks are a little tougher. Week 14 at Brady in Tampa Bay. Then week 15 back home for the home finale against the Bears. Once again, we played the Bears in our last home game. At least this time it's not week 17. Then the big marquee game, week 16, Christmas Day at the Saints. So maybe we get to ruin the Saints fans' Christmases. And then week 17 at Detroit to finish up. So, if you just look at the opponents, it's not too imposing a schedule. I just don't like the layout very much. I don't like that, 3 road games out of 4 at the end. The big reason I don't like that is, and this may not even prove to be a thing, but if fans maybe are allowed back throughout the year or gradually throughout the year or something, to finish with a bunch of road games that would actually be road games. Like the early road games may not even be road games because there may not even be fans really. And same with with the Vikings playing home games early, potentially in front of nobody. So we don't get much of a advantage to host Green Bay early because it'll be like a neutral site. And this might not prove to be the case. I seriously doubt there are going to be fans allowed at any NFL games this year, period. But if it does happen, it's much more likely to be happening in December than September. Um, but and then it's like I said, it's tough early. You got 3 road games out of the first 5, 2 of them against playoff teams, and the Colts are not a slouch, and they got Philip Rivers now, so they might take a step up. Your home schedule is very favorable. I'm not intimidated by Green Bay. I just don't think Green Bay is going to be that dangerous this year. So you should at least be able to split with them. But as far as your home games, you should, I would think they would have a chance to maybe even go 8-0 at home. But it's not really home games, most likely. So on the flip side, they're not really road games sometimes. I don't know how they're going to do that. I wonder if they're going to maybe pump in crowd noise. Like I was watching the Korean baseball a couple days ago, and they had they were pumping in like a murmur, just like a slow murmur of the crowd, as the game was taking place. So I don't know how they would do that in the NFL. Have a laugh track. But I think it also helps that, especially considering you're going to have a young secondary, and who knows how much they're really going to have to gel in any sort of training camp or preseason. You got not really imposing quarterbacks early. I think it's good they don't have to play Breeze until the end. You don't have to play Rodgers on the road till middle of the season. So that's good. Yeah, I remember last year when the schedule came out, I was just over the moon because it was just everything about it just seemed like to fall perfectly for the Vikings. This year, no. This year, this is the flip side of that. This is not very favorable. You get 2 primetime games. They're both on the road. I don't know why we always have to play the Bears on the road in primetime. Last year we didn't, but it seems like we've played them at least every other year in primetime. And of course at Seattle in primetime again. I don't know what that's about. But we don't get any home games in primetime. I think maybe the Dallas game is scheduled to be a 3:30, which would mean it's the national game. But that's not primetime. So yeah, just some thoughts on the schedule. Just, the big thing is going to be, if and when fans are allowed in. I don't think there's any chance there's going to be fans in the stands in September. But maybe in December, which is going to be an advantage for the teams that have the home games late, which we don't. So, but I think we're going to have a good team, so hopefully we can overcome that and handle their business in the home games, win a couple road games. Hell, there's going to be an extra playoff team too, so if they get to 10 wins, certainly 11 they're in, and I think they can do that.